Of Light Block, and I also have my real estate company, Sky Estates, and I also do content creation. I grew up in Cebu, but parang yung culture namin is very province. My dad came from Dipolog, so very province vibes. We live in a very Chinese-style home wherein 2 stories apartment, and then sa baba would be the offices. Dun yung office ng construction company ng dad ko. And then yung bedrooms would be at the top. So I think it's a very Chinese thing, no? So very simple lang talaga yung upbringing namin.
Hi everyone, my name is Kryz Young and I am a content creator. My parents were like a typical Chinese Filipino set of parents. I can't go out of the gate of school unless my driver's there, like super strict and traditional. The family was super private. So this whole time I realized, now that I'm married and I have a different, family, oh, I lived in a bubble pala all my life. I think that's true for a lot of Chinoys. We hope that other people who are Chinoys also can see this video and also be inspired na, there are other Chinoys out there like you.
It's important to know that why we are the way we are.
Yes.
Maybe hopefully inspire other people and just have a little bit of a takeaway from our journey as being Chinoys. Catch us on Chinoy TV Presents
Chinese by blood, Filipino by heart, only on CNN Philippines.
I'm Coach Golden Monteverde. I'm the head coach of the UP Fighting Maroons. Growing up, we were introduced to mga Chinese beliefs and we were sent to Chinese schools. Yung mom and dad ko is not that type na, would really be strict when you do something. Although, syempre, they would tell you in different ways. Growing up, I was not a perfect, child. Along the way I really appreciate yung parents ko kasi they never gave up on me and I felt that whatever I wanted, they just supported me. Eventually, when my parents knew that I was really into coaching, they would really support me. Even my siblings would support me in coaching. One of the greatest lessons that I learned at 17 through basketball was, to never give up. Our coach would always instill to us discipline and whatever happens during a game, just as long as you know that, you're giving your best and you're fine. I feel blessed to be part of this documentary and to be able to express yung sarili ko or sa art ko. Catch me on Chinoy TV Presents Chinese by Blood, Filipino by Heart, only on CNN Philippines.
My name is Bonnie Tan. I'm the head coach of the Letran Knights. We are 7 siblings in our family, 2 girls and 5 boys. Nasa gitna ako. And typical Chinese family na natutulog sa isang room, yung magkakapatid. Once in a while, nagdoon yung cousins namin na nag-sleep over din, kami sa kanila. My parents are supportive sa mga plans ng mga anak niya. Especially to my late father na mahilig manood sa basketball, especially PBA. So, yun, including my atsis sa plays basketball. Lahat kami magkakapatid, naglalarong basketball. So, yun yung nag-mold sa akin to become what I am today. I feel blessed and honored to be part of this campaign, and I hope I can inspire more Chinoys to be part of Philippine sports. Catch me on Chinoy TV Presents Chinese by Blood, Filipino by Heart, only on CNN Philippines.
Hi there, I'm Chinkitan. I'm considered as the pambansang wealth coach here in the Philippines. I was born and raised here in Tondo, Manila. So whenever I go out on the street, going to school, I would hear yung mga racial slur, like for example, inchik, peho, chekwa, diba, singkit. And it has been always in my mind that I need to prove myself towards others. I really work so hard. I turn night into day into night. I sold everything that I can get my hands onto. I really am so thankful and grateful because of those hardships. I turned my pain into my gain. I turned my scars into stars rather than becoming a victim of this situation. I'm proud to be Filipino-Chinese, and at the same time, I'm proud to be part of this campaign. It will promote the culture of the Filipino and the Chinese. There are a lot of good things that we can learn from the Filipino, and likewise, there are a lot of good things that we can learn from the Chinese. Catch me on Chinoy TV presents Chinese by Blood, Filipino by Heart, only on CNN Philippines.
I'm Beverly Lorraine Chuaho. I'm the Director for Health Promotion Bureau and the Disease Prevention and Control Bureau at the Department of Health. Growing up, we rented an apartment. We get brought to school by my aunt who lives with us. We always would have baon, not in money, but in food. That's really because it's part of pagtitipid. I also will remember that we don't have birthday parties when we were younger, except when I guess we turned 1 year old. And my parents would just say that it's better to share what we have for others. That was really the first few lessons of, I say, charity or generosity during that time that I learned from them. That it's not just about us, but really about the people around us. I'm very privileged to be part of this campaign, but also very grateful for this opportunity to promote the work that we do. Watch me on Chinoy TV presents Chinese by Blood, Filipino by Heart, only on CNN Philippines.
Hi, I'm Joseldo C. I'm the chairman and CEO of Ever Belena Cosmetics. I was raised here. Although my background is Chinese, I still believe that we are culturalized from a Chinese blood into a Filipino national. So I blended both together to best fit of what I am here in the Filipino community and work as a good Filipino citizen. I hope my little sharing and wisdom will help our next generation to know what we're doing and where we're coming from, and looking forward to see the younger generations. I'm inviting everybody to watch Chinoy TV presents Chinese by Blood, Filipino by Heart, only on CNN Philippines.
I'm Kenneth Cabonpue, and I'm an industrial designer. I grew up into a sort of pseudo-traditional Chinese family. My father was a traditional Chinese businessman, and my mother was working always from the house. She was a designer who built furniture literally from our backyard. Every night before going to bed, she would read stories of fairy tales and different stories from faraway lands. After I drifted off to sleep with these stories, the next morning would find me wanting to recreate these stories using the materials that I found. Since I grew up in the Philippines, everything that I know, my inspiration, my whole history, my culture, everything that I do is inspired by the Philippines. I feel very honored and feel very proud to be part of a campaign to try to rediscover and find out what is it that makes a Chinoy. Watch me on Chinoy TV presents Chinese by Blood, Filipino by Heart, only on CNN Philippines.
Hi, I'm Camille Ko, a content creator and entrepreneur. I am of Chinese heritage. I'm of Chinese ancestry, but I was born and raised in the Philippines. All my friends know this from school. Like, they really know my parents by name because they know that my parents are so strict. They're very involved in my life. And I definitely have really Chinoy values. I grew up speaking Chinese. At home, we weren't allowed to speak Filipino to our parents. We had to do really well with our Chinese studies because my parents really feel that it's important for us to, have a connection to our roots and to really not forget where our ancestors came from. I'm so happy that there's a campaign like this where we can bridge differences and truly come together so that everyone can have an understanding of this whole movement. Catch me on Chinoy TV Presents Chinese by Blood, Filipino by Heart on CNN Philippines.
My name is Stan C. I am a sportscaster and a voice talent. So when I was growing up, I was bullied because of my name. I was bullied because I was bookish. I was considered a nerdy kid. And in a way, pag na-color ka na into your little box, hindi na nila ma-i-imagine na you can step out of your box. When I was being bullied, it was really people making me feel bad about myself, making me feel that I shouldn't have any self-confidence, any self-esteem. So it wasn't necessarily about like what I wanted to be or who I am. It was more of who they thought I was. My goal was to reinvent myself. So that's why I wanted to do everything I wanted to do. What I've seen in my career is that a lot of the opportunities that opened up for me was because I put myself out there and I simply asked, even if the opportunity didn't exist. One of the things I really believe in is representation. It's something that I really stood for and wanted to push for. And I'm glad that this season we're expanding beyond coverage of Chinoys inside Metro Manila. So it's great that we're hearing all these stories because it adds more diversity and more flavor into the overall picture of what being a Chinoy is.
Hi, I'm Rains Mika. I'm a fashion model and I model professionally and internationally. I got into modeling when I was 15. I actually didn't expect to get into modeling. I was rather scouted by a talent agent. And when I tried it out, I think no one actually knew what was modeling. In the Chinoy community, well, I would get comments like, what is she doing? It also made me question myself, what am I doing? I was just having fun and learning from the mentors who discovered me in the talent agency. And eventually, I found a place for myself in this confusing world. I found that modeling actually made me found this group of people where I felt like I belonged to. It's really exciting because I get to share my story to everyone, to the Chinoy community, and it allows me to also learn more about myself and inspire others. And I hope a lot more of the Chinoys would get into the type of field I did in modeling. Watch me as Chinoy TV presents Chinese by Blood, Filipino by Heart, only on CNN Philippines.
Hi, I'm Valerie Tan. I've been a TV and events host for 15 years already. I'm also a content creator. I do lifestyle and travel vlogs, and I'm also an entrepreneur. I'm very fortunate in the fact that my parents are very supportive with my career of choice. Because as a Filipino Chinese, diba, the usual stereotype is you're expected to be a doctor, an accountant, an engineer, and of course, an entrepreneur. But for us, me and my siblings, we all had different career paths, and my parents were very, very supportive of each of our choices. So they would bring me to all the auditions, and up until I was starting already and struggling to get a project on TV, they were there for me. They were truly 100% supportive and gave me 100% unconditional love and support. I'm very lucky in that aspect. It is an honor, and truly am humbled to be part of this roster, to share my story as a modern Chinoy and to find representation for their own stories and their own journeys. Catch me on Chinoy TV Presents Chinese by Blood, Filipino by Heart on CNN Philippines.
Chinese by blood, Filipino by heart. #Beyond Borders is brought to you by Doña Maria Brown Rice, my kind of rice, from SL Agritech. BA Securities, your trading partner in Asia Pacific. Dash Cargo, propelling possibilities. Vespo Pipes and Luftonic Air Purifiers by Tech Global Incorporated.
What I noticed from your side of the family that I really appreciate is how your dad always tells us to stop working and enjoy life. I mean, that's not something you get every day from a typical Chinoy dad. You know what I mean? Like, growing up, all of my uncles and aunts were like, work until you die. Like, ganun. Like, no sick day. What do you mean? No vacation.
Yeah.
But then when your dad sees us working all the time, he's like, hey, learn how to enjoy.
Life is not all about work.
And that's so nice to hear from someone that we both respect, and that's also something nice that we can pass on to our kids, you know? It's not all about money. It's not all about the hustle. Yeah, it is. You should hustle and you should aim for something bigger, but at the end of the day, it's all about balance and living your life because you only get one.
I'm Slater Young. I'm the CEO of Light Block, and I also have my real estate company, Sky Estates, and I also do content creation.
Hi everyone, my name is Kryz Young and I am a content creator.
I grew up in Cebu, but parang yung culture namin is very province. My dad came from Dipolog, so very province vibe. So I remember that my dad was still starting his own business. We lived in a very Chinese-style home wherein dun yung office ng construction company ng dad ko. And then yung bedrooms would be at the top. Dad ko, I remember, would drive me around our construction sites. I was like 15 years old, and then he would give me pointers na. And then when I learned to drive, yun yung trabaho ko, driver niya. And then I would be allowed to attend meetings, grown-up meetings at the age of like 18 years old. Sumasama na ako sa big meetings with these big business people. And yung only instruction niya is, listen but don't talk. I think throughout all these processes, parang naengganyo ako sa process of finding your own passion because I can see these people that we're meeting, we're very passionate about what they do, the business skill sets that they have, having to deal with multiple people, with multiple personalities. So that, I think, is a very big highlight in my upbringing. Whenever I look back, parang, yeah, I learned a lot from those years, even if it was just listening.
My parents were like a typical Chinese Filipino set of parents. They were super strict with me growing up. As in super strict na bawal ako kumain ng fishball sa labas ng school. I can't go out of the gate of school unless my driver's there. Like super strict and traditional. The family was super private. So this whole time, I realized, now that I'm married and I have a different, family, oh, I lived in a bubble pala all my life. So my dad was born and raised in a very business, tycoon kind of family. So he was always very strict, but my mom was the one who was more present with us. Pero feeling ko, since they got married super young, nahawa si mommy sa mga traits ng family ni dad. So, she was also really strict with us growing up. Buti na lang I was the youngest. So, in the scale of strictness, I'm the lucky one na. Because my older siblings had it way worse. Grabe.
My dad and my mom raised us fairly differently. Yung strict was always my mom. Siya yung nag-handle ng day-to-day namin. Yung parang, oh, whenever you wash your hands, dapat you close the faucet right after. My dad would tend to be the big picture guy. All in all, parang it was a perfect mix of yin and yang, I would say, na merong the day-to-day person and meron ding yung someone who can draw a vision for you of where you want to go. He never imposed ano ang dapat namin pwedeng gawin. Like, he never told us to be a doctor or an engineer. As a matter of fact, like sabi niya, do whatever you want. And we chose to follow in his footsteps, me and my brother. Pero she actually discouraged us kasi sabi niya, masakit sa ulo si construction. Maybe find a different passion. Pero that's one thing I appreciated about my parents. They never held us back from following our dreams.
I would always see my mom, my sister, my aunts dressed to the nines all the time. My grandmother, she'd always be super fashionable. Parang there was even a thing na parang I can't leave the house kung hindi ako nakaayos. And when I was in college, I still loved dressing up, but not in the traditional sense. And I also wasn't thinking about blogging, content creating, because obviously it wasn't a career back then. So blogging for me started as a school project, actually. I think I was in my junior year of college. And my teacher said, okay, group yourselves and then come up with a website that you guys can get the most visits out of. And the website with the most visits will get an A at the end of the term. But I had so much fun creating that website that I decided to make my own. And that's how it kind of all happened. So I remember posting outfit photos of myself on my website and then cross-posting it to this platform called Lookbook NU, and it was just fashion. It was just fun. You know, there was no sense of who I was or what my family was like. And I remember I had just graduated college. I was still blogging regularly on the website, and we were thinking about, you know, career-wise, where would I go? Would I go corporate? Would I go back home to my family business? I remember my mom asking me, so what is it that you enjoy? And I remember telling her, you know what, Mom, I love it when I'm in front of the camera, wearing my nice outfits and taking photos of myself. And she's like, that's ridiculous. What is that even? And I didn't have an answer, and so I just worked for the family business, which is, at that time was fashion in retail. And then I remember a few years down the line where I couldn't balance working with fashion and retail anymore with my blog, because my blog was demanding so much time from me. And that's when I realized, hey, I should quit this job, do this thing that I love doing, and it's making me money pa. So that was kind of my light bulb moment that I could switch things around. And at that time, there was really no guiding force or anyone to look up to, because I would say that I'm one of the first people who did this in the Philippines. And so my dad was like, what are you doing? Like, stop taking photos of yourself. We're a private family. But, well, the black sheep in me, the rebel child in me, and the youngest child in me said, bahala ka na, Dad. I'm gonna prove you wrong. So I kept doing it. I kept at it. And it was a blessing in disguise, because now it's what I've been doing full time for the past, I don't know, 12, 13 years.
From the very beginning, like, I always had this feeling na parang, will I always be working for my family business? Parang nagiging redundant na siya. Yung passion ko wasn't really there. Although construction ngayon, gustong-gusto ko and I love what I'm doing, but at that time, parang lost ako. I just wanted a different flavor in life na I didn't want my path to be set already at a very early age. And timing na lumalabas ako, merong manager na lumapit sa akin. Sabi niya, "Oh, do you want to be artista?" It got me thinking. Then, may nag-message sa akin, "Hey, I'm Erickson Raimundo of Cornerstone. I manage Sam Milby. Do you want to be an artista?" Nag-message siya ulit, "Hey, I'm actually going to Cebu. I'm going to be there with Sam. Do you want to meet up? Just hang out, no pressure. I just want to talk." Sabi ko, "O sige," if he actually convinced me to try out showbiz. Kasi ang sabi niya is, whatever you do in life, you can always go back to where you are right now. At least matry mo tong different avenue. Maybe it's for you, maybe it's not, but I won't hold you to it. Like parang you try it out for a year or two and then balik ka if you don't like. His plan was to make me audition for PBB. When it was announced na, okay, Slater, prepare ka na, you'll be part of PBB, ganito. I told my mom and dad na, okay, ito na yung mangyayari. And my mom was very, very angry. Ayaw talaga niya. Ayaw talaga niya. She wouldn't talk to me for a while and I actually talked to my dad na lang. Sabi niya, okay, just remember na lang na you always have a home here. So, parang binalik lang din niya yung sinabi ni Erickson sa akin na parang, if ever it doesn't work out, we'll always welcome you with open arms.
Chinese by blood, Filipino by heart. #Beyond Borders is brought to you by Cardinal Santos Medical Center, Evergreen Cereal, AgriPro Premier Nutrition Inc., Global Diesel and GU Engineering, Nation Paper Products and Printing Corporation, Ford Tractor Philippines, your long-term agriculture partner, Japan Parts Trading Center, Dash Cargo, propelling possibilities. For your copying and printing needs, it must be sharp. Philippine Sityok Songlin Musical Federation Association. Vespo Pipes and Luftonic Air Purifiers by Tech Global Incorporated. Radisson Blue Cebu. Landlite, your total lighting solution. Chua Beng Teng, Alejandro Ko, Jimmy C, Nung Family, Enrique Chua, Lee Pue Chin, Albert Ko, Stephen Sia, Rosalina Yasay, Anson Tan, Sherwin Choi. Chinese by blood, Filipino by heart.
Showbiz, although fun, is not really my true calling. Pero, at least, na-check ko na yun, nasabi ko na okay, hindi na ako mangarap to be the next Piolo Pascual because this is not for me and I want to be a business person. It was focused na when I said, okay, business, meron ng certain sense of focus that I wasn't looking for all other opportunities na alam ko na anong gusto ko. Looking back on all the journey of all the trying out PBB, being independent, living in Manila on my own, I would say that was one of the biggest growing moments for me personally. To be in a place where I was always scared, I didn't know how to act. Because, di ba sa PBB, parang you're always tested. Doon ko nakikita na, I actually have leadership skills na I didn't know I had before. Akala ko because anak lang ako ng tatay ko and anak ng boss. That's why meron akong leadership skills. Nakikita ko na I had things to contribute not only sa PBB but into the real world. I learned my own value. And it was because I stepped out of my comfort zone. So, moving forward, me and Kryz talked about this na dapat yung baby namin, si Scott, should have the same sense of independence. Yung hindi natin ibigay sa kanila yung path, make sure they're paving their own way, and we give them the opportunity to do that. The very first business proper business that I was doing is Light Block. This happened maybe around 8 years ago, 3 years after BBB. It was a side project that my dad was looking into. Like, he was playing with lightweight concrete. He wanted to see if it was feasible to do in the Philippines. And he never actually got it running. Hindi niya nakuha yung mga formulas. So I actually volunteered. I told him na, Dad, can you let me try? Ako mismo, yung kamay ko mismo, like dipping my hands literally in the concrete, trying to mix it and like playing around with it. And this happened for maybe 6 months until we got to a point na sabi namin na, okay, it's time to invest. I would say that was a turning point na sabi ko, okay, I really have to make this work kasi sayang all the effort and all the money that was spent. The 6 months actually turned into about 2 years of just R&D, not selling to anyone, just R&D lang talaga, thinking of how we can make this work. Malaking kong takeaway is that I stopped relying on my dad. So I committed when I was doing Light Block na I'll solve all my own problems. No more going back to him, no more asking him to solve a certain problem. I think it made me grow a lot as a business person and as a person as well.
I remember I had 2 friends that I met also while we were on this journey together, and that was Camille and Lorene. We're all Chinoy. And I remember we had this meeting of sorts, and we were like, you know what? We should charge for our posts because we work hard and we deserve to make a living out of this. I think for me, I was lucky because I really loved what I was doing, and even if I wasn't getting paid for it, I would still be doing it. So everything happened really organically. I mainly do it for myself, and a lot of people ask me, would you still be doing it if you weren't making any money out of it? And the answer is yes. And a lot of people, I remember when I got married, asked me, are you still gonna be vlogging when you're a wife, when you're a mom? And at that time, I really couldn't imagine stopping because I just had so much fun doing it. Like when my second kid is 2 years old, that's my timeline. Like at that time, I'm really gonna reevaluate. I want them to be able to decide for themselves if they wanna be online or not. I just feel like I shouldn't be in control of this aspect of their lives na. So that's the only part that's changed for me. Because my vlog has become more personal the past few months, the past few years, I've taken more responsibility also. And I need to be more responsible for the people that's part of this journey with me. And so even though I love doing what I'm doing, I need to reevaluate lang because times are changing, everybody's evolving, everything's changing, right? So I just need to kind of regroup if this is still gonna be good for my family.
We've known each other matagal na eh.
Common friends.
Yeah, parang it's like we've seen each other around.
Yeah. Pero na-in-love siya sa akin secretly all these years. No, actually, when we first met, we didn't like each other.
Yeah, parang... Yeah.
Like, he was just off and I was just off to him. Ganyan. We never really got along. Parang hi, hello lang here and there. But then, you know, my charm, eventually... Go allowed to tell the story. How na-in-love ka sa akin.
We started hanging out. Ganyan lang talaga. Super simple, super organic talaga.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
A lot easier. I mean, ako, marami akong mga naging ex na hindi Chinese, but it wasn't a big issue, but it's just a little bit smoother na parang culturally na mas swak kayo. So, yeah.
The values are the same, so it was so easy for me to integrate into his family.
And vice versa.
All of the things that they hold dear, parang kailangan pag may girlfriend ka, ganito, ganyan, ganyan. Parang that was also what my parents taught me. So it was really easy for us. And our parents could also, parang kasing there's this weird thing among Chinese people na if I'm Chinese and you're Chinese, and even if we don't know each other, when we know we're both Chinese, okay, like I get you because we're both Chinese. You know what I mean? Something like that. Like there's a connection.
Ako napapansin ko yun whenever like we're talking to people that are older than us, and then you say "Ho Chaki, Ho Epo," and then like you.
And they're like, you're one of us. yeah, that's so true. So I feel like when his parents also met my parents, being from the same Chinese community, it was easier for them to kind of mesh and get along together.
I feel like a lot of it also comes from that yung Chinese community sa Cebu, medyo maliit lang. People know each other.
Yeah.
And it's like, kanino ba tong anak? Kanino ba tong ano? So like, they kind of know our background already. Your family knows our background. Our family, yeah. So
yeah. I'm always the granddaughter of Rosita, and you're always the son of John.
Yeah.
But we're used to it,
Yeah.
so we don't take offense or anything.
wala namang...
It's very typical.
Yeah.
Hindi siya kwento. So wala, very normie.
Si Kryz as a mom is, I would say, very caring. She does practically everything for Scott. Ako mga 10% lang, from time to time. Yung mga kailangan ayusin, mga ganyan. But siya talaga from the get-go. I would say si Scott learned to speak very, very fast. He's super smart because Kryz takes time every single night. Medyo mga 30 to 1 hour. 30 minutes to 1 hour. She spends time reading stories, trying to explain every single thing. Kahit hindi ko na alam kung maiintindihan kaya to ni Scott or hindi. Parang ini-explain pa rin niya. So siya yung heart talaga ng family namin. Siya yung mama.
No, it's a running joke in our family na, I'm okay to accept 90% of the responsibility because he's out there working and I plan to retire in 2 years and I don't want him to retire in 2 years so I can keep doing what I'm doing. I mean, how lucky am I, right? To be able to spend so much time with my kid and to provide for my husband, like love and, making the family a home and everything. It's a great thing to be able to do. And Slater naman, as a dad, I think, it's like when you're in a company, he's the CEO. Like, if I don't know what to do anymore, love.
Ako yung tagapag-ayos ng mga problemang hindi naayos.
Yeah, or like, so he's the energy. He's like, I don't know, you're the bones. I think he's the bones of the family. Yeah, you are.
So, ikaw ang heart, ako bones.
Yeah, you're the bones.
Okay, sige. As we get older, even my parents right now, the values they hold dear is a little bit different than the values they used to hold. Nag-iiba talaga, nag-i-evolve. So I feel like it's part of our task as parents to evolve along with the times.
Yeah.
Chinese by blood, Filipino by heart. #Beyond Borders is brought to you by Cardinal Santos Medical Center, Bilena, PHILFLEX Linoleum and Maruyama Tarpaulin, Evergreen Cereal, AgriPro Premier Nutrition Inc., Global Diesel and GU Engineering, Nation Paper Products and Printing Corporation, Ford Tractor Philippines, your long-term agriculture partner, Japan Parts Trading Center, Dash Cargo, propelling possibilities, PHILFLEX Wires and Cables, Landlite, your total lighting solution, Chua Beng Tang, Alejandro Ko, Jimmy C, Nung Family, Albert Ko, Stephen Sia, Rosalina Yasay, Lee Hongming, Chinese by blood, Filipino by heart.
I think growing up, that was one of my struggles or my angst na my parents always wanted to keep me safe and in my Chinese bubble that they wouldn't let me experience, life outside of it. But we need to experience life to know where we should position ourselves because you're not going to be there forever, right? So yun lang, let them do it, let them discover if it's for them or not. And at the end of the day, just be there for them to either clap your hands for them or be a shoulder to cry on.
I loved going out of the bubble and going out of my comfort zone. And it's still something that I appreciate doing now. There are things that sometimes you need to understand that you will have a specific area of your comfort zone. But if you want to grow as a person, you have to continually widen and make your area of comfort zone bigger. And that's exactly what I'm doing.
The Chinoy bubble, I don't really see it negatively because the Filipino-Chinese community, yes, it is small and it is tight-knit. But I would say we all have this unwritten, unspoken bond and connection. Like, if I meet a fellow Filipino-Chinese, whether he is from Davao, Cebu, or Ilocos, when we know that we're Filipino-Chinese, parang connected agad eh. We speak the same language, we speak Fujian at home, we can speak Mandarin, we have the same background, more or less the same values. So parang there's already a connection. So I feel like the Chinoy bubble, it doesn't necessarily have to be limiting. I feel there are a lot of upsides to this small and tight-knit Filipino-Chinese community.
20 years from now, I wish that our kids are following their own passions. If their passions are still similar to mine, go, I'll support you all the way. If your passions is in art or in acting or kahit ano man yan, rocket science or whatever, we'll be here for you. And I hope that you enjoy every single moment of your life.
If my kids are watching this 20 years from now, I wish that you still don't hate me at this point.
I wish naka-retire na si Kryz.
Yeah. for letting you wear all of these silly costumes and taking your photos, it was really my idea. Sorry, he had nothing to do with it. But yeah, we really love you. I mean, life is just so much more colorful. Yeah.
Chinese by blood, Filipino by heart. #Beyond Borders was brought to you by Doña Maria Brown Rice, my kind of rice, from SL Agritech. BA Securities, your trading partner in Asia Pacific. Dash Cargo, propelling possibilities.